Welcome, everyone. Imagine this situation. Your company has decided to reduce their budget and the pressure is on. On a Sunday night, you get a text message from the CEO asking you to reduce costs urgently. You now need to scramble to come up with a proposal. This is only all too familiar a situation for a lot of us these days. You get into the office on Monday, get your team together, and come up with a list of things that you can do. First, you break down your costs under three categories: storage, compute, and management. You look at storage and wonder, what if I had better compression for my data? Can I save on storage costs? The added benefit of compression is that once primary data is compressed, the backups are also compressed, and that multiplies storage savings. You know that a system with very high throughput from storage, such that you're not front-end bottlenecked like in every storage array, would be nice, especially if you're trying to consolidate multiple data warehouses. On the other hand, if you're running an OLTP workload, the low latency for the workload is extremely important. To handle most real-world workloads, though, you want a system that has both high throughput and low latency. Now you look at the compute tier. You realize that newer systems have higher core count processors, faster and larger amounts of memory. The simplest way to consolidate and reduce costs is to just move what was running on a physical machine earlier into a virtual machine. On the other hand, if you want to reduce your resource utilization even further, you want a system that can use a pluggable database, and a large number of those. More likely, though, you want a mix of both. Sometimes you need the isolation of virtual machines, and sometimes you need the additional benefits of pluggable databases. It's pretty easy to understand that in-memory performance would make the workload fast, so that would be nice. Also, paying for what you use instead of paying for peak workload utilization would really save costs. For example, if you're running a stock market and you don't have much activity on the weekend, you want to be able to dial down what you pay. If you have a disaster recovery system, you want a strategy that protects you all the time, but you don't want to pay for peak utilization. How do you do that? Now you try and look at the management of the system. If you consolidate a lot of workloads on traditional systems, you have suffered from the noisy neighbor problem. So you want a system that provides end-to-end isolation for workloads across CPU, network, and I/O. You want to make sure that you have the system that has the best security and availability, such that you're not spending operational dollars in just keeping those systems up or on additional hardware or software to secure your data. If you have lots of databases, one for graph data, one for spatial data, one for document data, and one for relational data, and so on, you don't want to pay for multiple systems and multiply all your costs by data type that's being stored. You also want to extract intelligence across all the data and data types that you have in your enterprise and not keep them in silos. How do you do that? Your CEO is driving the move to cloud to modernize the operations. Can you do all that and still cut costs? Is there one solution that does all of this? I'm going to show you that all of this is possible and you can do this now. When we started Exadata, we had three simple ideas in our mission statement. Those fundamental tenets have not changed. We want to have the ideal database hardware that produces the best performance and cost. We want to couple that with incredibly smart system software so that all the database operations are accelerated. We want to simplify the tasks of installation, software updates, and performance management, eventually building towards a fully autonomous infrastructure and database. When I made a bold claim earlier that there is one system that enables all the opportunities you identified for lowering costs, it didn't happen overnight. Some of the most innovative engineers got together to build the industry-leading solution over the last 10 years, and you can see how each of those values were achieved over time. Now we're going to spend some time looking at the key features implemented in an Exadata that enable the lower cost for multiple use cases. In a traditional system, when data needs to be analyzed, the data is moved closer to compute CPUs. The fundamental architectural difference in an Exadata is that it moves compute intelligence closer to storage. This enables a full rack to run analytic scans at a stunning throughput of 560 gigabytes a second that's unmatched by traditional storage vendors. Furthermore, we have these sophisticated algorithms that can perform decryption, aggregation, data mining, and backups in the storage tier. The fastest I/O is an I/O that's never performed. With Exadata's unique storage index technology, the storage server can keep the minimum and maximum values of columns, create Bloom filters, and use several intermediate representations to completely skip the I/O. The industry-leading hybrid columnar format reduces the data size by over 10 times, leading to not just savings in primary storage and backups, but faster queries as well. After the compression, the query needs to read a much smaller amount of data from disk to perform the same computation. The cutting-edge technologies used in columnar cache transform the data automatically in storage. Exadata uses vector instructions to execute multiple operations in a single instruction, dramatically accelerating queries. The faster performance and extremely efficient storage formats lead to a much smaller system needed for analytics and saves costs. Nothing else comes close. Random I/O is a traditional OLTP bottleneck. And Exadata, with its unique scale-out storage, NVMe flash, and persistent memory, executes 16 million 8K reads at less than 19 microseconds. That's incredibly impressive. Exadata has the world's most advanced integration with persistent memory. It allows the database software to perform a remote direct memory access and read the data directly from the storage server. Further, it's only on Exadata that the Oracle database can commit redo logs directly to the persistent memory on a storage server. For internode messaging, Exadata uses a direct-to-wire protocol that entirely bypasses kernel software, enabling lower CPU usage and 3 times faster internode OLTP messaging protocol. The persistent memory cache and the flash cache on an Exadata enable you to get the phenomenal low latency of persistent memory, the speed of flash, and the cost of disk. Yes, the amazing performance is at the cost of disk, and that's what makes Exadata remarkable. When we build these features with high performance, customers started consolidating lots of workloads, both OLTP and analytics, on an Exadata. On the network, Exadata prioritizes critical network messages for locks, cache fusion, logging, etc. It can also prioritize OLTP versus batch I/O. Exadata prioritizes workloads based on policies by job, user, service, pluggable database, session, and SQL. This is unique. No other system can do this. Since it's the only platform where the storage is aware of the resource management policies, it prioritizes every I/O. It is the only platform where we have true end-to-end prioritization. And in a few minutes, I'm going to show you examples of some of the consolidation that has happened with our customers. Exadata has the key technologies with unique detection of server failures without long timeouts. When we find that a disk or flash is slow or sick, the I/O is seamlessly redirected around that device. This is awesome. It keeps your system running extremely smoothly. IDC gave Exadata 5 nines of availability in a maximum availability configuration. We can run periodic checks for compliance for this. Keeping the system up without operator intervention and getting the amazing machine learning algorithms to work for you significantly reduces operational costs. When we ship an Exadata, the kernel and drivers are hardened and secure boot is enabled. We scan every release with the industry-leading scanners and securely install the operating system, hypervisor, BIOS, firmware, and UEFI in a single update. Once we deploy a system on your site, we have intrusion detection enabled. It delivers the best compliance posture. We also have the revolutionary technology to isolate virtual machines on the network. Securing the infrastructure for you ensures that you don't have to manage and monitor all of this. It's just that simple and saves operational costs. Exadata is the absolute best investment for running the Oracle database. There are two ways to take advantage of this. One is to spend less by doing more. Use the blazing fast performance to run a single workload faster or run more workloads, users, databases, or larger amounts of data on the same machine. Run multiple virtual machines with extreme isolation, or maximize the unique ability to run 4K pluggable databases on a single container database. Or if you want to run the same workload, we offer the ability to tailor the number of compute servers and storage servers to the ratio that fits your needs. By enabling capacity on demand, you pay for what you use and need and only pay as you grow. The virtual machines enable trusted partitioning and enable you to reduce the spending on options to just a few virtual machines and not all the cores on the machine. We have proof that a small Exadata outperforms much larger alternatives. A large US bank consolidated multiple servers into one at the incredible ratios that you see. A Japanese marketing performed a 64-to-1 consolidation of their databases on an Exadata. And a digital payment company decided to run multiple data types, such as analytics, machine learning, OLTP, and IoT on the autonomous database powered by an Exadata to save 4-to-1. These are massive cost savings and powerful proof points. Exadata is available in 3 forms. You can either run on-premises, run in the public cloud on the same Exadata infrastructure, or have the cloud at your data center. The Exadata Cloud Customer offering is preferred by customers who are governed by data sovereignty laws and brings the cloud to your data center. The cloud enables additional savings by having no upfront cost and only paying for what you use. The autonomous database, available in both Cloud Customer and the public cloud offering, is the pinnacle of achievement that saves operational costs of running the databases. All the database provisioning, security, maintenance, protection, scaling, and optimization is taken care of, such that you can focus on your business needs. So yes, you can drive your cloud transformation and you can lower your cost too. And now we're going to look at how customers love Exadata. We have thousands of mission-critical deployments. Exadata powers stock exchanges, banks, telephone companies, grocery stores, gaming companies, business applications, IoTs. Name any industry vertical and any geography, and you can find a mission-critical Exadata customer. It's that popular. After all, over 86% of Fortune 100 companies run on an Exadata. Many of them have utilized the consolidation on an Exadata to reduce costs. Let's take a look at Swisscom now.
Swisscom is mainly a telecommunications provider, but we're also an IT company providing services to our customers. We want to create success for our customers, from banking to healthcare in the business segment, but also in telecommunications. We are the first customer in Switzerland who purchased Exadata. That was 10 years ago, and we've continued our journey going through all stages from version 2 up to the latest version. In the past, we were using hardware with a failover architecture, so our availability was a failover availability. Now we have a maximum availability architecture where our availability has increased. There are some major benefits. First of all, it allowed us to consolidate different environments like storage, operating system, database into one system, into one architecture. We have reduced the number of systems we have to manage. We could reduce our patching workloads, And working as one team instead of few teams has benefits. The manageability has become much better, and it's basically made the life easier for everyone.
That was great, wasn't it? The amazing thing about Exadata is the community effect. You get the scalability of telecom, the availability of banking, and the security of government all packed in one. Just imagine how scattered and unique the current systems are. Nobody else other than your enterprise has the same combination of vendors, and it's complex to assemble, tune, maintain, secure, and upgrade. On the other hand, Exadata is a global standard and not just a corporate standard. It has no equal. Here are 3 additional examples. We have one for on-premises systems, another for cloud@customer, and the third for public cloud. NTT Docomo reduced operational expenses. Galeries Lafayette took advantage of the automation in cloud@customer. They saved by removing a lot of old servers and saved on outsourcing management. In 7-Eleven's case, they saved by not having to build a data center to hold their disaster recovery system and instead hosted it on the public cloud. They further saved by enabling the pay-per-use option on the public cloud for managing their disaster recovery system. You can too. We talked about technologies in storage, such as the staggering 10:1 compression with hybrid columnar compression, the spectacular throughput at over 560 gigabytes a second, and the phenomenal low latency at less than 19 microseconds for OLTP applications. We looked at how we can consolidate either with virtual machines or with pluggable databases. We took advantage of the screaming fast in-memory formats in storage to further increase the performance and reduce costs. When consolidating, the key technology to look at is resource management. And Exadata has the unique ability to resource manage all the way up to a user, pluggable database, session, and SQL. And every IO is tagged with this information end to end, and it can be resource managed as well. The system is secured and updated regularly by leading security experts, and it provides technologies to keep the installed systems compliant. It has the best availability that leading banks trust. We showed you how you can use a single database to consolidate various types of workloads, such as graph, spatial, relational, and document technologies, such that you don't have to pay to maintain multiple databases. We showed you 3 ways to get Exadata: on-premises, cloud@customer for data sovereignty, or in the public cloud. The autonomous database powered by Exadata slashes costs by eliminating the need to maintain the system. And yes, you can drive your own cloud transformation too, and we have one solution that does it all. Industry analysts such as IDC, Consolidation Research, and Wikibon have put Exadata in a league of its own.